No fewer than 18 persons have lost their lives today to an explosion at the Abule-Ado close in Festac town, Abule-Ado local government area of Lagos State. Apart from the lives lost, the massive blast burnt down several buildings within Abule-Ado spreading across neighboring communities, including a school. The National Emergency Management Agency says its officials are still combing the rubble to save more lives. "9:30 a.m. on Sunday, day 15 of the month of March, is a day to remember for the people of Abule-Ado area of Lagos. Shattered glass, collapsed buildings, a wreckage of high magnitude, all caused by an explosion that rocked the neighborhood. Shoes and school bags litter the ground. Emergency management officials begin moving body bags. It's another dark Sunday, and children are among the casualties.
I was checking my mails, and it was about 9:02 a.m. this morning, and I felt that impact, like a strong wind force pushing you. And I thought initially it was a big gas explosion, so I went to the balcony to check my neighbors around Third Avenue, and they said nothing. Then I looked at the social media immediately, one of the WhatsApp group, and my PA, Ibrahim, just sent an information that there's a pipeline explosion in Abule-Ado. We are, myself and the chief security officer of the school, went around the building, the hostel area, to actually find out whether during a stampede period some other persons were trapped. So far, so we didn't see anybody trapped. But like I discussed some Lasema people, the civil defense, the army and the Red Cross that were here, that I'm here since morning. Personally, my major concern lies with the cafeteria area because, the chapel is under construction. I'm in a Catholic school on a Sunday morning. They're supposed to attend Mass at about between 8:30 and 9 o'clock in the morning when this incident actually took place.
We need to dig in to find out who actually are the people responsible. Somebody must have sold the land to the people who are living here. It shouldn't be so. This place ought to have been cordoned off away from the people. People shouldn't be residential here in this place. And then even this school should be queried. Why should you have a school close to a pipeline location? I think this is also very wrong. So these are the questions that why should people be around here? It's a very vulnerable place.
The cause of the deadly explosion was not ascertained at first, and that gave room to a lot of suspicion.
So I slept here. I left there by 7:30. This thing happened by 9 a.m.
And you're suspecting that they've died?
Yeah, this their corpse there.
Father, mother,
son, and one other houseboy. And my daughter left early because they asked them to be in the church by 6:30.
What church is this?
CPM.
Which CPM? Festac?
Festac. This woman is the women leader of Festac. Is a women leader of Festac.
CPM Festac?
Festac, the women leader.
That died?
That died. Then the husband is the committee, there's a chairman of the building of Festac. He's in charge of building of Festac, EDU. The fair woman that stays in the altar. I slept here. That's my relationship with them. They are parents to me. Their father and mother.
What caused this fire?
I thought that would be something. But this is not only a pipeline. It might be bomb line. How can pipeline affect all the whole environment?
As the day darkens, with uncertainty pervading the air, appropriate authorities step in to provide some answers.
We have already also gotten about 15 bodies recovered. And there are reports of children being involved with their principal. But the figure, we cannot give it out now. As eyewitness informed us that it was, if you look at the truck, you will see hardcore stones inside. Okay. The hardcore stones were meant to be dropped in the premises. I think it got stuck in that place. Then this crater created already by we don't know who created it, but we learned it was vandals that created that cut that place up. Maybe there were leakages there before or not, we don't know. So when the truck was trying to get out, there could be spark maybe, but this is really until when the investigation is concluded. Before we do, but you can see the truck and the point of fire is less than 15 meters apart from each other.
As at the time of this report, rescue operations are still ongoing as firemen battle to put out the fire, which authorities say was sparked by unsafe human activities. We continue this heartbreaking story as the Nigerian Navy Reference Hospital says the explosion also caused substantial damage to some sections of its facility. The management of the hospital says they received and attended to casualties from the explosion site. 55 persons made up of 36 school children and 19 adults were treated in the hospital. The statement adds that one of the adults had about 35% mixed degree burns with inhalation injuries and pulmonary edema and has been admitted into the intensive care unit and is connected to a ventilator. 7 other adults and 2 children are said to be on admission in the wards, while 2 adults had traumatic brain injury and have been referred to the Lagos University Teaching Hospital for neurosurgical intervention. The remaining 43 have been treated and discharged. 3 people were brought in dead, 2 females and a male. It was indeed an accident that caught many Nigerians unaware, and almost everyone that had access to electronic device tried to capture the disaster. And I'll bring you some of the pictures that were sent in by Eyewitness Report. You're looking at some of those pictures, quite hard to watch. Some of them are really, really heartbreaking. And just a few hours after news of the explosion broke, the Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, the NNPC, Mr. Mele Kyari, visited the scene where he explained the situation that led to the incident. Mr. Kyari said a truck accidentally hit some gas cylinders stacked in a gas processing plant located near the corporation's System 2B pipeline right-of-way. He explains that preliminary findings have shown that the impact of the explosion was so huge it led to the collapse of nearby houses and damaged the NNPC pipelines, in which efforts are being made to curtail the resultant fire.
It is very obvious that this explosion is caused by excessive gas exposed to this location from works of gas handling companies. Definitely there are problems around standards processes that are not optimum, allowing for this to happen. Our pipeline, unfortunately, is very close to this location, so the incidents ignited our pipeline. We'll take down this immediately by going to this with all the efforts that we're with our partners, the Lagos State Government, the Fire Service, and all the security agencies, especially the FOC, Naval Commander of the Pressure. And we know that we can take this out, but the important thing is that people should not build houses around pipelines. It's very dangerous. They should respect our right of way. It is for the safety of all of us. It's not about even entitlement. It's about making sure people are safe. And we hope this doesn't happen again. It's also unfortunate that a number of fatalities have happened. And these fatalities are unfortunately unplanned for, especially very young children who have nothing to do with this situation. And we work with the Lagos State government to make sure that we make for all the standards around this location and around handling of gas, so that ultimately a thing like this will not repeat itself again.
President Muhammadu Buhari is not happy with the fire incident in Lagos. He sent a condolence message to families and victims of the explosion, as well as the Lagos State government. The president consoled all those who lost property in the incident or were affected in any way. He said in a statement, a misfortune of whatever scale anywhere is a tragedy to the country. And while the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation makes efforts to determine the cause of the incident, I send my deepest and profound sympathies to the victims, their families, government, and the people of Lagos State. The perennial pipeline explosions in Lagos State may be calling for a definitive measure to put a check on the needless loss of lives due to activities around the fuel channel. Of particular worry is the number of deaths and destruction in Alimosho local government area of the state. Our next report takes a look at some of the incidents in the last 1 year.
Thursday, July the 4th, 2019 is one date residents of the Ijegun area of Alimosho local government area of Lagos State will not forget in a long time to come. This is owing to the number of lives lost to the inferno that followed a pipeline explosion in that axis of the state. Same year, same axis, residents of Barua still within Alimosho woke up on Thursday, December the 5th to yet another pipeline fire blamed on the activities of vandals. The explosion did not end with the decade, as few weeks after that, precisely on Sunday, January 19th, 2020, there is yet another blast at the Ile-Epo, this too within the Alimosho Council area of the state. Something common with all of these explosions is that they were caused by oil thieves who destroyed public assets and much more, leaving deaths in their wake. This latest disaster of Sunday, March the 15th, is nothing close to the usual. Houses are shaken to their foundation, roofs blown off, charred off ceilings litter the place, persons trapped in the ruins of the buildings that cannot survive the anger of the explosion. The latest is one disaster too many. And if handled like previous ones, may spell more doom days for the nation.
A Black Sunday it is for many in Lagos. A section of Abule-Ado near Festac town in Amuwo-Odofin local government area of the state came up in flames following a strange explosion. Let's take a recap of what's going on or what has happened so far today. Abule-Ado is a residential area sharing boundaries with Satellite Town and Festac Town. The community is fast developing and surprisingly also plays host to NNPC pipelines which are buried in the ground. Another spot in this area is the Bethlehem Girls College. It's been a major focus since the incident happened, not just because of its location, but because of the students trapped in their hostel as of the time of the fire. It's now a shadow of itself. The school itself is in ruins, the hostel and the entire facility now in shambles. The impact of the explosion shook the foundations of all the buildings in that area and shattered pillars. Directly opposite the Bethlehem Girls College is where the NNPC pipeline is situated, and very close to it is a gas station suspected to have added more to the chaos that befell the community today. As you can imagine, the entire neighborhood is mourning the loss of the human and material assets in that area. Abule-Ado's immediate neighbors, Festac Town, Satellite Town, and Abule-Ado in general, all in bad state. It's indeed a Black Sunday for us in Lagos.